Hey, hello everybody. I'm Mike, and what I want to show you today is a really cool toy that I found at Walmart a few months ago for less than 30 bucks. I think it was like $26 and some change, something in that area. It is from the Adventure Force line. It's kind of like a cheap, low budget Chap May sort of a line of toys. You find the same molds like in different toy lines and all the bargain stores. And what I really liked about this toy line, I've got a few others from them before. This particular offering here, which they call the giant military helicopter play set, is what they call the giant military helicopter, which is actually going to be a V-22 Osprey kind of a vehicle. This guy right here. Now, you're probably familiar with the V-22 Osprey. It's popular with the Marine Corps. I think the Navy might use them. It's a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing aircraft that has this neat tilt rotor design. And I've not seen another toy in the 1/18 scale that has anything offered like this. And here we can see the little tilt rotors, the engines turn around, and you can crank them forward to go from the hovering to the forward flying mode. And it's got a little wing here, not a very long one, but good enough to get the point across there. And another neat feature, since you find these things on aircraft carriers, and you'll find them, think they can kind of like rotate around and swing the wings for storage. Well, this thing can do the same as well. You just crank these little guys up, swing this around, and then you can also fold in the blades, and now you have it ready for storage. So I think that's another neat little feature about this. Get that back into the flight mode again. Now you got some other stuff going on, which I think is very useful if you're going to use this with like G.I. Joe or other 1/18 scale figures. You've got storage capacity inside. Here we got the little lead-in ramp, and I guess if you had a vehicle small enough, like I guess a motorcycle could ride up in there, but otherwise your troops can walk up, and then you've got like a nice cavity on the inside where you can store troops. Then on the side, only on one side, you've got a door gunner position, and this door gunner has a couple of these little mini guns hooked up, along with, you can see that there is, well, let me pull this. It pulls out, so you get a little bit more range. It doesn't turn or anything, though, so it just kind of pops out. But you can see, if I get this right, he's got some little ammo belts there that kind of feed into it. And there's a chair back in there to seat your gunner. And got a cockpit that opens forward, and there is a lot of space in that cockpit. And let me grab one of my G.I. Joes. This is the 4-inch scale ones they did for, like, I guess the 25th anniversary. You got Roadblock, and you can see that a figure fits right inside that cockpit. Easy. In addition, we got on this side, this is actually, it's a little spring-loaded cannon. It has some rockets in there, but I'm not a big fan of spring-loaded stuff, so I'm probably not going to use that. I guess in your imagination, it's bulky enough. You can imagine this is like maybe some sort of a 20-millimeter Gatling gun in here. And then you got some cannons on the other side too. Maybe these are like some bigger ones, like some 30, 40-inch or 30, 40-inch millimeter cannons on the side. So a lot of heavy armament, I guess, so you can strafe troops that might be on the ground, attacking up when you're trying to land your forces in. Windows on either side. Some of these Chap May planes only have them on like the one side. Carry handle, not really a lot of use. I can hold this in my hand, but I guess it's Might give you some options for hanging it, or you can just pull it off. Who knows? Um, then, of course, you also have lights and sounds. I'm not a big fan of lights and sounds when it comes to like my toys because they just sit on the shelves and I don't like woo, you fly them around and shit. But you got that, or you can do this, whatever the hell that is. It keeps going. It's not done, not done. Okay, or maybe this one. Yeah. All right, so you got all these options there for your license sounds, and or you can just take the box out and not fuck with that. Um, the color I think is good. If you see these things in action, they don't really do a lot of camo on them. Most of your stuff that operates with the Marines off of aircraft carriers, it's going to be like in this kind of like neutral gray, which I guess kind of blends in with the sea and sky. So that works out just fine. Little tail fins in the back for your steering. Um, One thing I don't like is if you look at the surface, it is completely covered with all these little like techno babble details. I'm not a big fan of that kind of thing. I wish it was smooth skin, but I guess maybe kids are into this. But other than that, I think it looks great. And once again, for the money, it is great, and you're not going to find a lot of other these Ospreys in this scale. So this is going to be something that I'm going to try and work on to add to my GI Joes for display. I'm going to do a little bit, maybe some paint jobs here and there. Um, Stickering, I usually like to get like a stickers from Toy Hacks and add them on. But with all of this technical detail, man, it's going to be hard to find smooth spots to put stickers on. But I'll see what I can do. And of course, in the interior here, I like to put some plastic, glue some plastic into the hollow windows to give them some real like kind of glass windows, and maybe some control paneling in the front here. Though you do got like some dials on the side there, and there's a few little spots that might be up for some like paint applications. But once again, really great toy. Hoping to kind of like work this up a little bit more and make it presentable for display with some GI Joes. And it has another neat little feature too. At the bottom, there's this hook, and that goes with this little contraption, which is used to carry trucks around. Well, let me show you. The set comes with this truck, and I'll talk about that in a second, but let me hook this guy up. Front end, this little basket goes around the front wheels, the second basket around the back wheels. Now you have this truck hanging from the suspension here, and you put it on the hook, and he's ready to like fly this guy into combat. All right, and that is the Osprey part of this guy. Now, this armored vehicle, I think this is also just a real great bonus into the set. Something that I've been looking for is a 1/18 scale armored transport that looks like this. This is a Petrea 6x6. It's made by a Finnish company. This is not an exact replica, but it's pretty close. And you'll actually find very similar vehicles throughout a lot of the world's armies. Just a really kind of common European, Asian. You find them in like UN peacekeeping forces will have these. And this guy, along with your wheels, you got the front here, which I guess could be a battering ram or maybe like a mine clearing device. Once again, a opening canopy with a big cockpit and a steering wheel inside. And once again, I'm gonna have to squeeze that head down. I do not like the head poking up above my frame. Maybe have to work on that a little bit. And once again, I'll probably put some glass and some plastic in here to complete the windows out. But a O-ring figure would probably fit a little bit easier in there. They're a little shorter than this guy. On top, we've got a turret with a pretty beefy cannon on there. Looks like about a 75 millimeter. And the turret, along with this opening hatch, has an open bustle where you can put like a backpack or some guns in there. And it also comes with a couple of these little heavy machine guns that came with the set, and one plugs into a little hole on top of your turret here, so the guy sitting in the turret can operate this machine gun, or if you're using the cannon, you can just, I guess, shut it up and pretend that there's a guy in there working the cannon. And another great feature, something that I was really hoping that this would have, is the back here. You see this door? Opening hatch, and you can put GI Joes or whoever soldiers inside of the back here. Now, there's not like a lot of space to situate them, and I guess you're just going to put them in there. They're going to fumble around a lot. I don't know. I might be able to put a bench in there, but there's still not going to be much to secure them from fumbling around. But you still, like, you have that open play space, I guess, where you can pretend that they're at least they're hanging out, and then you open it up and they can go into battle. So really impressed with all of this, and the outer detail, unlike the other one that we had, the outer detail actually makes sense. It looks like you got like reactive armor plates and like boxes to like access like equipment and the engines and stuff like that in there. So really great vehicle here. I'm thinking, since Cobra doesn't have like a armored personnel character quite up to the standards of something like the GI Joe amphibious personnel carrier, maybe this guy can be Cobra's answer to a armored personnel character. I'll do some repaints on it, some stickers, see where that goes. A little project for the future there. These sets usually come with like a couple of other smaller, cheaper vehicles. Like we got this little all-terrain vehicle with a rocket launcher on it. This cheap Jeep, so I left that still attached. You get like some cheap soldiers. I don't know what I might ever do with those. And they also come with like these sets of, oh gosh, everybody goes rolling around. Sets of like weapons that the soldiers are supposed to hold up. They're super oversized. People say though that they're about the right size for your larger, like your 6 cents and classified scale figures. So I might just hold those in a box for anyone that might actually ever want them. And that is the Adventure Force giant military helicopter playset. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you find this informative.